What's up? It's Mort Beazy. I'm here with Tash, Van Styles, Big Dookie Chain. You already know what's going on, man. Shout out Supreme, man. Shout out Dae Heat, man. 43 AD, man. We got you. You mean? Gangster.
Big Dookie Chain. I'm Van Styles. To the left of me is Tash. Got Hush behind the boards. And then we got three special guests today. We got Dae Heat, Author Supreme, and Mort Beazy. And the homie Ant, who just came home after 3 years. So.
Guys.
Came home today.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Right to a podcast.
I went to go snatch him up and say, yo, we're going to a podcast.
That's like a podcast. You got him, brought him right into the fucking studio.
We're rebranding as Death Row now.
Exactly. Same shit.
Big Dookie Chains, Death Row.
Exactly.
Right. We should have gave him a Big Dookie Chain in the door, like right fresh out. I know. I'm wearing them both now because I couldn't lace three, so it's like I gotta just wear them both.
You control the chains, man. You control the chains.
So we're all in the middle of the hustle right now. I used to do WERS 88.9 FM, and then I did undergroundhiphop.com for 20
You did a lot
years.
of my bid with me then.
Yeah. I got all the calls. Yeah.
Thanks.
That red phone was blowing up nonstop. Shout outs. And then Tash used to be in a group AWOL. Actually, when I was on the
Artists
radio.
Without Limits.
Yep. With Notch producing.
It was all walks of life.
All walks
Really?
of life.
Yep, all walks of life.
And they got an AWOL in Austin.
I'm sure they do.
The fake AWOL. This is the real AWOL.
Real AWOL.
But when you were doing your bid too, we were on ERS a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
I heard.
We had a local artist spotlight.
I used to get a lot of people that were incarcerated say that they could. That article in the paper right there was one that people saw a lot in jail, and we would be on his show a lot.
So this is like 2005.
I don't know.
So-
I thought it stood for Artists Without Limits. But I heard
There's probably another AWOL, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I heard an AWOL on WERS too. I probably just
that was only us.
Okay, yeah, we used to play them all the time because we did local battle and all that.
Absolutely.
And there was a Mr. DL song, like Masterpiece, or I forget the name of it. They always used to play or shout out like every neighborhood around Boston. I don't know if you remember. Do you know Mr. DL? Daniel Laurent?
No, that's different guys. DL is Daniel Laurent.
No.
Mr. DL is a different
Sorry,
guy.
I'm thinking of DL, not Mr. DL.
Daniel Laurent.
Anyway, yeah, so this is like 2005.
These guys are young, man. You guys are in their fucking 30s, man. These guys don't know.
You guys are in your mid-30s, though, right? Is that correct?
I'm 35.
Yeah.
So where are you guys from?
I'm the youngest one.
Where are you guys all from?
I'm from Dorchester, Boston, Mass.
I'm from Somerville, Mass.
East Boston.
East Boston. Okay, so you guys are all local Boston guys. How do you guys know each other?
Prison.
Okay.
Well,
To sum it all up.
I met him in
To sum it all up, though.
Yeah, to sum
in
it
the
up.
club, but
Me and him met
The club in prison?
Me and him met through a common person.
Boston is very small, so
Right, yeah.
most people hear who everybody is, and then you don't really know who somebody is until you like actually go through situations with them. So I went through situations with this brother, Mort Beazy, in prison, and that's how I know who he is. You know what I'm saying? So doing the music was kind of made it a little bit easier to actually venture out or like do a song with somebody else. I don't really do a lot of features. You know what I'm saying? Yet I was like, yeah. Everything you spend is real shit, and that's what I do. I do pain music. It's just real shit. So I'm like, I can get behind what he's saying because I know it's real shit, you know. And this brother I met in prison as well. He's the only white dude in the black groups. No, dead ass. It's AHC was an African Heritage Coalition, and we had pretty much the only group of people within the prison where all the black dudes got together and was actually on some productive shit. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
And this brother was there. So
Wait, how did you slide into that? He's
So
the only white brother.
I'll tell you, basically,
Black,
man, I've
black.
just for whatever term, I've rubbed shoulders with so many people, and when it came time, like I was there for a while, and then someone I was messing with, we were working out, we were chopping up music, all types of shit, and he was going to the group, and he basically one day was just like, "Hey, buddy, you come with me," and I'm like, "Where we going?" He's like, "We're going here," and I'm like, "All right," I'm like, "Cool, I'm with it," but I'm like, so I know him, I'm like, "Yo, you talk to make sure everything's alright. Like, I want to make sure it's good. Like, I come with welcoming, and welcome norms and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, no doubt." I came. It was one of the dopest experiences I ever had.
he's really black.
Well, we were just going over our 23andMe's. We're the whitest people that exist. Yeah, like 99% white.
So you guys, the whole thing is like, all right. So I'm adopted. I found I was adopted when I was 14. Figured out recently like my heritage and shit like that. I grew up in places like you guys grew up. I am hip, down, at the cookout, however the fuck you want to say. I'd be one of the ones at the fucking group, however the fuck you want to put it. So the joke's always been that I have some black in my family somewhere along the line. It's always been the joke. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out, like, you know how, like, when people take 23andMe's and shit, like, even racist people have, like, 6% something. Yeah. I'm like, I can pull it up. I'm like 99.6% Caucasian. I am the whitest motherfucker. Like, legit. I am the whitest. 99.6%.
Like,
yeah.
It blew my mind. It, like I was, we all started dying laughing. Yeah, it was wild. No, I have to go tanning.
And I was only 0.05% North African.
No, I'm not even that. Nothing. 0%. So it was wild. But what was cool though is I ended up finding my cousin who did it as a joke on Christmas. I ended up finding her on there, and I ended up meeting my whole family and shit. And like I actually found my actual family and shit. They're all white. But like. It's one of those fucking things, though. Yeah, so that's why he says I'm one of the whitest fucking people. But what is an interesting thing though is like, so I mean, old school Capone and Noriega, right? Met in jail. That's like the whole story, right? Seeing them bang out, like fucking. So it's interesting when you get the narrative of prison. You guys did time, I suppose. I mean, he just came up from 3 years, so I assume you guys are all in the same bracket. Okay,
well,
so.
Me less than my good brothers next to me, but still, yeah, everybody understands what 12 seasons rounded around again for another 12 seasons means.
Exactly. So you're in there, and obviously prison gets the rap that prison gets, like on the outside, what people think of it, and people think the people in prison, like productivity isn't like really on the menu. Let's put it that way, right? It's like one of the first things that people think of. Yeah. But I'm looking at 3 guys right there that said they met in prison, and now you're outside of prison, sitting doing something productive.
Absolutely.
So to me, that's pretty fucking cool.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's at the start of something. Even that he came out and I asked, what are you guys going to do tonight? He said he's going home.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm seeing like, okay, what made that change? Why are you guys doing this now and not that?
The other way don't work. Because you're going to end up going back. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're going to change who you are, like me and his brother was talking about when I first met him, drinking, drugging. You know what I mean? And seeing that you got a problem, knowing you got a problem, and changing it, and just facing that shit front. Boom.
You talking about who was that?
This brother.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
When I first met him, we were talking about.
So that's how you guys.
Yeah, well, that's how we kicked. That's how I connected with him.
Can you turn him up a little bit? I don't know if it's my headphone or if it's.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just how I talk. My voice.
No, yeah, you go.
Wait, now I got to do the check-in because you came in here last second. Are you still sober? Are you still sober?
No, I'm sober, man. I'm chilling. I just had a day.
So yeah, talk.
No. But I'm saying when I saw you, like 6 days sober.
Yeah, since then, Since then, I had a drink. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, not to make an excuse for it, but, relapse, they say, is a part of recovery. So I've been just pushing. I even be making music about recovery. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not saying good or bad. I was just checking.
It's like, that's
everyone has their own shit too.
Because he's sober too.
Yeah. So
for how long?
I was almost 3 years now.
Wow.
So, but I was every day, and my shit wasn't like. I'm not saying I wasn't an alcoholic because obviously I was. I drank all the time, but I was like, I was productive. Like I was out there getting shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't. Like I was having fun.
There's a whole bunch of levels.
You know what I'm saying? Like fucking, but like to be productive on like an actual like business sense,
right?
You can't drink.
Right.
You just can't.
Well, some people can. A lot of people can. Some people
especially
can.
Like if we're talking about often. Yeah. Drinking once in the week, I'm talking about really drinking. Like for someone who drinks, they pick up every day before they look at the paper they got to take care of, they grabbing a drink. That's going to turn sooner or later. It could go for a while.
I'm not even against alcohol either. Like if you want to drink, drink.
Certain people can do it totally fine.
Right.
Yeah.
I disagree
different
though.
strokes, different. Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Dre apparently drinks a lot. That man's a billionaire.
Yeah, but Dr. Dre has
the DOC. Yeah, he has
Dr.
a team.
Dre is a team of people.
Yeah,
Dr. Dre is not doing his day-to-day business.
Right.
Dr. Dre at this point in time just walks to where he
But
walks.
my point is, I'm sure there's plenty of people who can drink.
I'm willing to bet.
Both worlds.
I'm willing to bet you that if you dug into like people's actual personal, the people that are successfully that drink
We're gonna have to go
have
around
a
and
team
do
of people.
That handles shit.
Not only that,
I'm gonna
there's
tell you-
also things within there's Hollywood has a lot of medical their medical is advanced, you know what I mean? So they got a lot of people within Hollywood that go and they get the hydrated.
Oh yeah,
So they
yeah.
drink-
IV.
and then they'll just next day.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like people have like
different
a
than going
girlfriend
to
who's a
Boston
nurse.
Medical.
That's nice. Yeah, you're right.
But not even that. Like, there's only once you start putting your hustle together, like your real hustle. Like, once everyone has a hustle, right? But then eventually, like, you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, I can like actually hustle.
Right.
So you get like you start to get like some realness to it. Once you figure that shit out, like every minute you're drinking, there's only so many minutes in a fucking day.
Right.
Every minute you're drinking, you ain't doing business.
Right.
When you're recovering that next morning, you ain't doing business.
Right.
But I thought I was
You
networking all those hours.
You just missed. You guys all just went right. You
I
guys,
understand what you're
you
saying,
just missed 8 hours of work time.
Absolutely.
And I'm willing to bet that once you stop drinking, because once again, I'm not against drinking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But once you stop, if you're going to do business, 9 times out of 10, any business you do with your drinking is dumb business. Because you forget the person you met, you forget the conversation you had, you wake up the next day like, oh fuck, whose number is this? Fuck,
Right.
like maybe you exposed yourself too much, maybe you took it, you were
Acted a
too,
little out of
yeah, like got a little too excited about the opportunity, maybe, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's all because of alcohol.
Yeah.
And see the smiles because. Like my business me and him have been different. I like life a lot more now that I don't drink.
Right.
I miss alcohol.
He thinks
I need a team. You just told me that all I need is a team. And I can go back to drinking.
Yeah.
Get back to my first love.
Yeah. So it's like
I need a team.
But like what this wild boy ain't telling you is like to get like his company off the ground, if he was drinking, there's no fucking way.
Right.
He likes drinking, but there's no way he could do it.
Well, I would just drink and I do bad things.
Yeah. So it's like but my shit is like once you want to get your shit together and you don't want to go back and you want like you're like fuck the party. Like the party's actually like the work, and then eventually get to a point where you can go anywhere you want and do anything.
Well, that's why I was trying to supplement with ketamine. You know?
I
But
mean,
then that can go overboard. I tried shrooms for a little while,
Right.
and then you find yourself
everything in
tripping
moderation,
balls.
brother. Too much of anything. Yeah. Everything in moderation.
Too much of anything.
Yeah.
Even moderation ain't good for you.
Yeah, brother, I'm just,
You know what I mean?
I just don't want to. I just don't need this brother to feel bad about his life.
Yeah.
Everything in moderation.
I get it. Just
Even
this guy,
recovery
I know this guy for
moderation.
20 years. He's gonna feel this way
Yeah.
forever. Trust
Yeah.
me. You
No,
know?
and exactly. So, who am I to judge? You feel me? I just want to make sure that the kids know, don't do that at home.
I want to know who you're talking to right now as well too. So like, if you were to ask circa 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hip hop, Boston, you would have asked like the general public of Boston hip hop in that time frame, who the drunkest people in the whole scene were, you're gonna get me and him in the top 5
Yeah.
across the board. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah, we were out of control.
So like,
What
that's
are
who
your
you're
drinking
talking.
names? Do you got drinking names?
Mine was bathroom.
No, he was.
No,
he
I'm
was
kidding.
Van Styles. I mean, Van
It
Styles.
was still Van Styles. Yeah.
He said
I was stressed back then. My rap shit was stressed.
And you were causing stress. Everyone around. You were banned from the Middle East.
No, I was banned from the Middle East. I was banned from the Western Front.
Okay.
I was banned from a couple places. But that's also because like of the people you're gonna bring. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just watching something the other day where I seen somebody like up on stage and like I'm seeing all the people. I don't know what the hell that was. Fucking I see all these other people up on stage and it's like you could tell that one person is working for the stage,
right,
and all the other people just want to stand on it. You know what I'm saying? And then like what that's doing is like taking away from the whole thing. First of all,
absolutely,
and then second of all, that's what's going to be the demise of the person working.
absolutely.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Every time.
That's why you're not supposed to have people on stage with you that
Ever.
don't know your words.
That's why, like, why they should be in the crowd
Yeah.
Right.
with saying your words.
Yeah.
So as a videographer, sometimes I'm watching and like, man, that dude on stage talking to his buddy the whole time is making like
Right.
his friend who's performing look bad. It's like
Who put money
everybody
up,
needs to be like,
who pay for studio
We
time,
need to have, like,
pay
a
for
group
beats,
chat.
production, engineering,
Right.
fucking artwork, fucking gas to get there, practice time, all this shit. Like, yeah, so like, when you come out of stuff like that, I'm only talking to you guys on that because I can see, like, I see 3 men coming out of prison sitting here trying to do something positive. So I want to give you kind of a couple positive.
and at every show, because I think I first saw At least you Mort Beazy at Cassidy. There was like a Cassidy event in Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah.
Or am I mixing that up?
No, that was us.
Okay.
That was us. Yeah.
We got the Jim Jones.
I missed it. I was
Yeah.
at Jim Jones too.
Yeah,
We were all
exactly.
at Jim Jones. I missed the
Yeah.
casting. I was supposed to make it.
Nah, but you was out front. Remember we met you?
I was-
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to get in there and make it into that event, but the Jimmy Jones was all that.
And Beanie Siegel.
See,
And,
So you guys are
There might have been some other ones.
I was seeing this guy.
Right.
He's outside.
Because I wear the chain.
Right.
So the thing is too, is like the channel I have more than one podcast. I have a Chris Tash podcast right there, which is a weed podcast. I have a Big Dookie Chain podcast with Tim. I have a couple more coming out. But Mak-Tube is the name of the channel.
Oh, okay.
Mak-Tube is an Arabic word. It means it was written.
Okay.
So it's like the universe is always talking to you. If you guys didn't read the book on The Alchemist in prison, you guys didn't read that?
The universe.
Everybody read that shit in jail. Everybody read that book in jail. Point being is the universe is always talking to you. Like when you're always ready for what you're ready for, and you're always supposed to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. There is no good, no bad, no up, no down. It's all the same. Like it's just the lesson, it's the life. It's all the words are already written out. Walk your path.
Right.
So running into this guy everywhere, you're trying to get in your path of sobriety. Like what I see in that is something like that, because you run into this guy like all over the place. He's on his path of sobriety.
Right.
And that's what they talk about.
That's what you guys talk about.
That's exactly what they talk about.
You know what I'm saying? Which is
And we reconnected when I was getting sober.
yeah.
After losing touch.
Wow.
Well, I think me getting sober, I think it inspired a lot of people to get sober. You know what I'm saying? Because like if I could do it, and like if oh wait a minute, he's not.
All right.
Well, they say you're doing good too.
Yeah, way better. Like
Yeah.
and you can night and
You
day.
look better,
Yeah.
you feel better,
Everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything. It starts with the drinking, the smoking, then you come the better food, and the exercise comes in, the sleeping better. Like
Absolutely.
it's just all, and they're not stressed out all the time. And shit.
I'm more stressed because I'm not drinking. But when I first saw you, Mort Beazy, you had like 40 people with you.
Yeah.
So I remember that was like, I was
There
like,
was
oh,
probably
shit.
some people talking and having a conversation behind me while I was rapping too.
Yeah, I mean, at that point it doesn't matter because that's so many people.
Right.
And then, Officer
Get
Supreme,
everyone's
you and I
attention.
met under different circumstances.
Yeah. You want to tell us?
You can tell it.
All right. So
So big like okay.
I know it's a big deal. It's only because
I'm looking at him now.
Yeah,
I was going on.
it's a fun story.
Right.
There's nothing. It's a fun story.
We didn't meet in jail. We didn't meet at a show.
So basically,
I was in the onesie.
I went to an event for Exposed TV.
What?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me
Allegedly.
Yeah. So I went to an Exposed TV event. Me and my son's mother went there. She's a licensed esthetician, has her own business. So I brought her to this networking event. It went good. Boom. Afterwards, we went to Tavern on the Hill from Somerville, right? It's like Halloween time, kind of, I think, right?
Oh,
you
man.
just had a.
I hope it was Halloween.
I know.
I'm trying to get. I think it was.
You're trying to help me out now.
think
I
it was-
appreciate you for
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't.
Hopefully this was Halloween.
No bullshit though.
I was
so
sober
we're
by then.
chilling, me like two.
Was he dressed up?
He was in a fucking
Yeah, I
giant baby suit.
Yeah.
and he had like a bib and all sorts of shit.
Mama milk.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The mama milk, and we took
Baby need
pictures.
titties. Baby
So
need milk.
me, my BM, the two shorties, and
No
like 3 other
way.
people all were outside taking pictures, just like acting retarded with the
Yeah.
fucking suit and shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I just walked in right now. When I first came in, I'm walking in, like, I look, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, I know you, and I'm like, well, yeah, I fucking knew. I felt like I knew him, and then right away, it's like,
Yeah. So yeah, the baby suit.
little did I
And you
know,
stand,
but-
hey, you
but
stand
look
out
how
yourself
crazy
too in
this is.
Somerville.
Hey,
Let's be honest.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's just normal wear.
It's Mr.
Okay.
Somerville right
Yeah.
Hey,
Is that true? Are you Mr. Somerville?
I would like to say I am a good representation for Somerville. Absolutely.
Okay. Somerville.
Yeah, I've been there my whole life. It's tatted on me. It's where my land's at. You know what
Okay, I'm next
I
door
love
to
everywhere else around though, but no. The craziest thing is you're speaking on you know how the universe works, right? I mean,
I don't know how it works, but
Well,
I'm guessing.
As you see things happen in front of you, right? You're talking on it now. As you guys are telling that story, I'm going. I'm going. This is insane. But now I'm about to it's crazy. Them two met like that. You notice that I met this dude randomly at a bar. Little dude, I mean, he's in a crazy insane suit. I didn't know who I was talking to. Little do I know, look who I'm talking to.
Yeah, that's what you never know who the fuck you're talking to. Especially, I would have ignored him. I don't go out with him when he wears that fucking suit. Like,
I mean, to be honest,
there's one today because they might be connected to that kiss tomorrow.
And even if those feet are in, what do babies wear?
No.
On their feet.
Whatever the babies wear, they're better than the shoes you're wearing now. We're not going to go there with your shoes today.
No, he doesn't like to be with me in a lot of places in public, but it's all right.
So you guys meet in prison, right? Jail. Okay. When you're in there, all three of you in the same time. You guys you guys are in a group, but you guys are like
no.
You guys just kind of work together.
It all happened at separate times.
We all separate.
So they had their own meet, right? I didn't meet him in prison. I met him after prison through people we both knew in prison. Me and him were in prison together at a certain camp, the medium. So I bidded with him for a little while, but when they were bidding, it was a different time. You see me?
I'm just trying to figure out how the music comes into.
So I'll tell you how.
Wait, because you said you can't rap in prison.
So I'll tell you how. I'll wrap it up quick. So my man, someone we're cool with, I got on a podcast and he got on a podcast. We got our mans on there and he wanted us both to be there with him. Right. So me and him link like that. Now we're sitting behind our boy in a podcast, both showing up for him.
They had motion at the time.
Right, we all got motion. We're all doing music. He's shouting out, "Oh, we got a show this night."
Okay.
I took it upon myself. I said, "All right." He's with my mans. I'm like, and I know him from another event. I said, "I'm gonna go to the event." Right. I went to the event. He was just like, "Oh, listen, just much appreciative, just because it was me, him, and like two other people, and then some other shit happened." But that's where it all started. You see what I'm saying? Like through good mutual people, and we all did the same thing, and we're like, "Oh, you make music? Oh, okay." And
so. Okay.
And that's just me and him, kind of. It's like it happened differently for everybody.
Because like,
well, now it's funny that you said that because the emotion that y'all had, it put y'all in a path to meet each other, just like similarly to they're both trying to 100%. Do sobriety, and he pointed that out. That's the universe, right? So everybody's exactly what it's supposed to be. Right. Me, I've stopped.
Oh, and Hush is weed sober.
That's beautiful.
What?
I had stopped doing music. I stopped doing music probably like right before I ran back into Mort at the LBL show, and then I'm like, yo, I guess I'm supposed to still be doing that.
Absolutely.
I told him, I said, go hard.
So you guys make, so this is where we come to this part now. Usually when people come on, I haven't been running into you guys. He goes to fucking 30 shows a week. Like legit. He's outside. I'm not that. I'm a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you can see we ain't the same thing.
Outside, it's a movie.
So I don't know you guys from there.
Right.
So the only place I usually do deep dives on like our guests, and I have some like pretty in-depth conversation and pretty in-depth questions for people. But you guys are like almost blank slates online, which is like a very interesting thing. I mean, you guys have a few songs here and there, but like, so my question is, do you guys make music together? Where do we find your music? You know what I'm saying? Well, the other thing is you guys have like a buzz, which is like, weird, that's what's weird about it.
We're live performers. We're not really internet people.
We're outside at all the events.
I'm still learning that shit every day.
Because you have like 20,000 Instagram.
No, he got.
No, he does.
Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, like
we all got some.
I got like 11,000 right
before I got locked up. I was MySpace famous. So I was I've been doing the internet for a long time.
Were you ever SoundCloud famous or no?
I was never SoundCloud famous yet.
MySpace, SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, SoundCloud was like nothing when MySpace was popping.
Okay, yeah.
I started.
MySpace was first.
Yeah, MySpace was lit.
What was your AOL chat screen name?
My AOL chat screen name? I wasn't on there. I was on AIM.
AIM.
Dae Heat.
Okay.
So where does the name come from?
My name is Dante Heath Bill.
Okay.
If you take out the NT,
we figured it out.
Yeah, that's very simple.
How about you? You got an interesting name.
Arthur Supreme. Jesus. So I ran around with a crew when I was young called the Head Spinners. Shout out my guys who those are still my Head Spinner brothers. And,
are they like floor lords or something? I'm thinking like
one of them does things like that. There's all elements to it. I got a graffiti legend in the group who's insane with things like that. But most of us were rappers and stuff like that. That was an old time. That's a fast time. But I had a name then, and then one day I was just like storytelling.
Wait, what was that name? I thought you were just gonna slide right by it.
So I used to love. I used to love like the Wu-Tang shit with the like alter egos. How meth would be like,
Johnny Blaze.
You know, so like my shit was like Peter Snubs for a while. Peter Snubs for a while, and then one was like when I was real young, like the urban analyst. I used to always want. I always wanted it to be like.
I like that.
You get me? I was
hilarious.
that young. So like you said, I was always just trying to find. I always wanted to be some projection of like everything I'm seeing and I'm growing up around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then Author Supreme came to me just because again I've read many books. Reading's a huge part.
Are you with Cat Williams right now?
No.
Reading
I
books
didn't
like
grow.
that?
Yeah, no. Look,
1,000 books a year.
No. So I wasn't. Yeah, at a young age,
Cat Williams said
I wasn't reading 100 books a week like he was saying. But Prisoner of Unalive, I just like reading. I've always been a writer. So writing and reading was a big thing for me. So book author, I've always talked about wanting to write a book. So then the author supreme, the supreme author, you know.
There you go.
That's just what it is.
I gotta ask you now, man.
Yeah, well, Mort Beazy is my stage name. You know, I got that name when I was very young. But anybody like I've been going by a whole nother name in prison for mad years because you just get you get your name. Like you don't wake up. I didn't say, hey, I'm gonna wake up and today my name's gonna be this.
Well, some people try.
No, you can't do that. You know what I mean? They wasn't calling you whatever, shoot 'em up, bang bang.
You might as well let
If it's like
whatever,
like it wasn't, and everybody from the crew
wants to
got
be
the
murdered
like
now.
I'll be 43 AD this or you know what I mean? Nah, so they just called me Miz for a long time. You know what I'm saying? For years, because it's just easy. Because my real name's Mark. It's just easy to. His name Mark. So
Shout out to Marks, man.
Yeah, Marksman.
But not Mark Ass.
Marksman. That's
You know you a butt of a joke if your name's Mark, but my real name is Mark Brown. Everybody used to call me by my government name. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm from East Boston. So I got a big family. They'd be like, yeah, that's Mark Brown. I went to prison and started calling me Miz. But Mort Beazy came when somebody actually made a mistake saying my name. And they was like, oh, and it's like stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like they went to call me and they made a mistake. Like, oh, Mort. And everybody's like, oh, that's Mort. And then years later, it was Beazy because of my last name Brown. Like, you know?
But Mort sounds like mortuary.
Yeah, so I ended up studying that name. Like, I really dig deep in that name and all.
You're like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into here?
Yeah.
Oh no! Let him.
Yeah.
He know what he's
let him cook.
Yeah, it's dark. It gets dark, man.
Well, let him know.
It gets deaf and it gets dark. That's all I can
So
say.
this is the funny part about that.
Yeah.
His name, Mort, which you just pointed out, is actually could be short for mortuary. Yet the prefix Mort still means death in and of itself, right? And then 43 AD, if you look at the
which is your group, you two.
Yep, 43 AD. That's
with
us.
more members for sure.
Absolutely. So shout out Rolly, Battle.
So you guys are a group.
Yeah, 43 AD is a group.
Oh, so that's okay. All of you guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys all agree on that? Because it looked like you guys had three different
Absolutely.
faces.
Okay.
You know what it is? Because I don't like to simply. Oh, it's definitely a group. It's definitely a friend. The thing is, it's more than the word group. So like when people ask me what type of music I make, I hate even giving them what type of music I make because I don't like things like you know what I'm saying. So like, not that it was anything bad with calling it a group, but it's
Conglomerate.
When people ask you what kind of music you make,
Is it what
they don't know that you make hip hop
Well,
music.
Main Man is
I mean, come on, you got gold
RSO.
chains on, you got a fucking leather Kangol on.
2024 though, right? You never know, dudes. Like,
Yeah, wait, what is
his name? Teddy
43 AD
Swims in the
stand
country.
for?
So 43
this is more
AD
important.
is
This one's
4 plus 3 is 7 and then AD. So 7 is a God number. AD is artist development. Could be numerous things, right? Yeah, let's go to the beginning. The fourth letter of the alphabet is what?
D.
And if you spin a 3 around, it's what? It's an E. So D, E, and then you got AD. What does that spell?
Dead.
It's dead.
Damn.
My man Mort.
So DEA.
DEA.
No, not you go down. Yeah.
No, that's
no, I know.
Yeah, that's completely different. Right.
So you guys are DJ.
Yeah.
You guys are
Wait, you didn't finish the story on Mort Beazy.
No,
That
is
was
the
it.
story.
Yeah,
So
that's
Mort
it.
means
Mort.
death.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's all
in dead music.
Like the
Yeah.
universe, like you know what I'm saying? Like we
AD
talking
is
to the dead, we speaking for the people.
That's another thing too. Speaking for dead
People
voices,
who's
right?
locked up, you know what I'm saying? Can't
Niggas free to
speak, you feel me?
Right. You know, it's not just a bunch of a negative like death thing. It's
Yeah,
more or
that's
less
why
there's dead voices that we
So
don't
it's
speak
nothing.
for.
It's nothing
Nothing
negative
bad.
about death.
Nothing.
Death is inevitable.
It's
That's
a-
the
it's a
only
real
thing
thing.
that's
It's a
constant.
fact.
in
But
life.
hopefully with AI, they're going to solve this shit in the
Besides
next
that.
5 years.
Yeah.
There will be no
We'll
more
be on
death.
the living shows.
And no more getting old.
You believe that?
It's gonna be a war.
I don't believe anything. I haven't seen it. I believe the thing could get pretty crazy.
I know we'll be dead before that happens.
I don't know about that. with the way shit's going, we'll be half cyborg.
Well, Mr. Supreme right here just said that he doesn't like to describe what kind of music he has
Right.
because And I get it, because you don't want to say that you're a rapper, because then people automatically fucking, it's whatever.
No, I saw Dae Heat tackle this on a podcast.
I get it. I do the same shit. I make music.
Right.
But how would you describe? So if someone was to look for your music, or someone that might not know what your music about, like, how would you describe your music?
I'd say if I could answer that.
I mean, you guys are 3 different people. You can describe it as one or a whole.
I know. Well, we all make timeless music together.
There you go.
That's the point of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So even part of the productivity that he brought up, even the music that we're trying to do is more or less cautionary than anything else, right? So if you even hear us speak vaguely about what we used to do or things that might be happening today, yet for us it's the past, right? It's a life that we used to live. Yeah, we're not telling it to glorify, we're telling it to tell people, look at what it got us. Nowhere, right? So who would follow a path of destruction when you already know what's ahead of you? That doesn't
Many do.
Indeed so. We're still going to tell the smart people, right? People smart enough to pick up on the message.
Well, I've heard you describe it as pain music.
Absolutely.
Indeed so. That's what I mean, right? And these brothers are not only making pain music because they like to make uplifting music too for the people. And I'm going to try to get into that. Yet me personally,
You're just way more depressed. You're the most depressed of the 3?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to the music.
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah.
So that's what I do. But I also, I'm a mental health advocate, so I also speak for a lot of people that suffer from mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? Myself and my mom being one of them, my sister. You know what I'm saying? So my family battles depression and a lot of other mental health issues. So this is like near and dear to my heart. That's why I speak about it a lot in my music.
Yeah, I definitely want to tackle that. A lot of firsthand familiarity with that world. But something I do not have firsthand familiarity with, which I feel like dovetails with mental health that you guys are always talking about whenever you're on podcasts and YouTube channels.
Yes, sir.
Is, so, yeah, we all used to get wild back in the day. We all used to drink and smoke or do whatever else. But from my life, this whole like prison story did not exist.
Right.
I mean, maybe for a night or two here or there, but nothing like serious. You told me when we first met, you got out after 12 years.
Yeah.
And you got out after 16? Or did
I did a 15-year bid. I did 14 years off of 15 years, and I altogether I did 17 years. So since I was 17 years old, I was locked up.
Which isn't, like, even Ant saying, like, today he got out of jail after. And
He's my childhood friend.
Okay. And you were like, oh, I only did just a quick 3 years.
So when I was 17.
Yeah, so that's your childhood friend. You looked up for 17 years.
Yeah, but so we've been friends since we was like 10. Yeah, exactly. So we didn't really see each other like that. The last time I seen this brother, he was fighting a murder trial, and I talked to him through the vent, and he was like, "Yo, you think I should plead out or not?" And I said, "Yo, why the fuck would you give these people life for free? Right? Don't plead out to a life bid. Take it to trial and fight for your life." And he did that. And
Well, so a second.
And he's sitting there right now.
Second.
He went home. They tried to give him a second. They offered.
I asked for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Gangster.
See you later.
Right.
So,
That's a win for the home.
But 3 years in my world, in any of our world, that's a long time.
3 years is definitely a long time.
not even that. Like, so we've been sitting there talking about, before the camera started rolling, talking about like hip hop in the 90s and shit like that, going to stuff before you guys even got here, and not even thinking that you weren't even here for any of that. Like you were locked up for the whole thing. Right. And you said 13 years, 3 years, a couple years. Obviously,
he did 10.
Too much. That's a lot of fucking time.
Right, we're talking over a decade, almost 2 decades. Like that's that's a lifetime.
I was locked up at DYS too. My whole since I was like 12.
That's youth services.
Yeah. So I was locked up for that too.
Came from.
So like,
I don't even talk about that. You know?
So like, okay, so that's super interesting. No, we should talk because we should.
Definitely.
This is super interesting because
and we here for the kids.
A lot of people, like a lot of hip hop, right? They portray that.
Right.
Even if they ain't that, they portray that. Like that's for some reason people think that's fucking cool. Obviously, I'm willing to bet that everyone in this room is going to say jail is not fucking cool. Fucking these guys that actually have been in jail. But I want to get to that part of it. But what's like blowing my mind right now is how down to earth you guys are a lot.
Right. Well, this is what I was going to say.
Blow my mind because you guys have reasons to be fucking angry.
Thank you.
Like you have reasons to be angry and violent.
But at the same time, you do that much time and then you're out. You appreciate life differently. he agrees.
Yeah,
Mort agrees.
That's one side of it, but
both
then
statements of
right?
So you appreciate life. You appreciate life because it's been taken away from you. Absolutely. So most things that have been taken away from somebody, they'll start to appreciate. You deprive somebody of sunlight, they'll run outside. Right. It doesn't matter if they get sunburned.
Yeah,
right?
It's an animal.
So that's
right.
that's a fact. What you just said, and at the same time, what you said is also a fact. So we do have a reason to be mad, and at times we are, and it comes out in ways that sometimes we can't even control, which is also mental health, right?
Yeah.
So their mental health is played within there, right? And so that is something that we battle on a daily basis, yet we can't allow the anger to subdue us, right, in a way, or debilitate us in a way where we can't have the emotion that we have, because once we do that, then we're not even sitting here talking to y'all.
And all that is amazing, and I agree with you. Yes, but that doesn't change the fact that prison is a violent place. Like, even if you're not engaging in violence, it's still a violent place.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? 100% all the time. It's never not violent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Never not violent. And to have that on you for so long, and just to be like, for what it's worth, I mean, like, I know people that have been in prison that aren't nice people.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, and you guys have demeanors about you. Like, it seems to me that you want to change, and I just hope it's picking up in the camera that people can, like, because this might, you know, when people haven't, like, talked to a black person, you realize they're not even racist, they just haven't even met any fucking black people. They're like, oh my God, you don't even fucking know it. Bro, come with, like, and it changes the whole thing. Like, a lot of people haven't ever met anybody that's done a lot of prison time.
Right.
So their mindset automatically is, 10 years, like, get that motherfucker away from me, my family, my property, my job, everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're...
To tap on what you were talking about is like, you know, the demeanor, right? So sometimes you need, like, everybody who goes through a long time in there goes through something, even whether they know they're going through it or not, they go through something mentally, right? So then when you bump into good brothers, like, so these two men right here, that, like you guys have said, like, the numbers are wild. So, like,
they would break people.
They are,
right.
But within all the issues that come with every human being in there within themselves, right? These two are some of the two most level-headed people I know, and some of the most genuinely good people I've met. I met, like, you know, me and him were chopping it up first, me and Mort, going to events together, and, like, it used to amaze me, you know what I'm saying? Because he's done literally my time times 3. I did 4 years, he literally did 3 times my time, and I'm known for fucking smiling, you know what I'm saying? Like, people know me for that.
Right.
People know me for that. It's a good feat of mine.
I've seen you wink like 10 times.
Listen
I'm like, it's not what keeps winking at me. Like,
when someone says something I agree with, someone says something I agree with.
Yeah. I've seen you do it like 10 times.
The charisma's on 1,000, right? But so sometimes people will tell me, I can't believe you did 4 years. Like, they'll meet me, and then in the conversation, I'm like, yeah, this time I was there, and they're like, what did you say? And I'm like, oh yeah, and they're like, wait a minute. I can't believe you're like, your demeanor, all this stuff. When I met this dude and these two dudes right here,
4 years is 17 is like,
dude, it makes me feel, it actually gets
your whole life
in line better, because when I start tripping mentally about something, these two dudes will help me, because I'm like, hold on, like, these dudes are keeping it together, and it's like, there's no way I can't keep it together if my brothers are doing it.
If he's here in the gym lifting weights, why the fuck can I be here in the gym lifting weights?
Even if I have to do it in a different way, that's cool, but there's no way I can fall off.
That's what he just said to me the other day. On Doves. He said, yo, bro, come work out. Right. That's what I do.
Okay,
well,
my mental health.
When I first met you, like, the first time we talked, I was like, wow, this dude, you kind of, like, look into another person's soul, and you're soft-spoken. There's something about you that's like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the dark,
that's the
dark eyes.
But it's not like, I mean,
negative thing.
Like, if you just look at you externally, physically, we're like, you're tattooed head to toes. You got the meerkat thing on, like
meerkat checking in.
Right. It looks like
checking.
It looks like there could be a problem. Like, it could be trouble. But you were like the opposite of that. Like, very down to earth, very grounded. Your energy was like on point and like open.
If I may speak to that, even since the beginning of time, I know the people who's pretty much gonna do anything about anything don't really divulge that type of information to outsiders that don't need to know the information. And I'll explain that in layman's terms. Mm-hmm. If you're a gangster, you don't gotta tell nobody shit.
They're gonna validate you. Everyone around you gonna validate you.
And let's take it out of gangster and street terms, right? If you rich, you don't need to tell anybody shit. Nobody needs to know you're rich. Just be rich. If you're a good person, just be a good person. Most people who tell you up front that they're something, they're normally not that. They're trying to convince you of that so that they can deceive you. Words are deception.
Mm-hmm.
Action speaks way louder than words, and 90% of people say less than that. They'll tell you about 75 to 80%. I say 90% of language is body language. The rest of that shit is all deception. It's like dribbling a basketball. The point of the game is to score, not to dribble the ball. I don't care about the dribbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? So your actions is always gonna speak to me, and that's just it. Yeah. You feel me? So we as people, you feel what I'm saying? We just do. You know, you show and prove. If you're gonna do something, do it. I don't gotta tell you anything.
So can I bring it back to not the beginning, but the beginning of like
time?
Trouble, right? At time. You know, God said, "Let there be light." Fucking
what it was decreed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm resting the seventh day. Nah, so like. You guys didn't end up in jail or prison because you had calm demeanors. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, I don't know your stories, but at some point in time, there had to be some kind of violence or some kind of like aggression, some kind of something. Like we all come from, also in our childhoods, I don't know where you guys come from. Mine was a very violent childhood. So like that happens too as well. And it takes you a long time to kind of grow out of that. Did you have to push through that and come out this on the other side of that, or has it always been this?
Well, before we do that, what were you guys locked up for?
I had a lot of stuff. I got a whole attorney general joint. You know what I mean? It's all on.
No.
It's a Google. You can Google it. Yeah,
right. I've heard you say it was like assault after assault, stabbing originally when you was a youth.
Basically, just a lot of fighting and gang
street shit.
Yeah, street shit. You know, just what comes.
Selling drugs and shit like that. Getting fights.
It's more survival too, though. Like you said, where you came from. You come from a violent place. It's like that in a lot of hoods in Boston, especially East Boston. There was a lot of gangs out there growing up, so we came against. Like I wasn't even like what gangs. When gangs was, I was like, yo, fuck gangs. Gangs are whack. I'm gonna just be from wherever I'm from, because that's how it was in Boston. But then you get around people and you create something. So you want to lead, and you feel like your family. You can't tell your mother or your family what you're doing out there. Some people, it's like a secret society almost. Of people you feel like you can trust. You know what I mean? In the beginning, you feel like it's the realest, but then you go through things. You know what I mean? That this dude over here is telling this dude over here checked in this, and you start being like, damn, and you step away from it. That's what happens.
It makes you change your perspective once you actually go through it, and that's another reason why there's no need to talk about it, right?
Right.
Because that's just like being in a relationship, and I had to learn that in a relationship. Don't talk about your relationship outside your relationship, because it's never going to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when they come to those type of things and you go through it, you learn like, damn, this is not what I thought it was whatsoever. So you basically realize that you live yourself into failure, right? You walked yourself into failure. You're like, you don't want to tell people you're a failure.
Right.
So now that's something that you kind of keep to yourself after realizing that you've been duped. And then you change into who you actually are supposed to be. So we actually became, and and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna try to speak for y'all and say we became men in prison.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because that, when you're a man, you put childish things away. You know what I'm saying? And when we was doing that, like to what you said, we was violent. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I went through a lot of violence inside my own household. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I learned violence first. And then I started to see people enact violence on people that I knew, and people that I knew enact violence on other people, right? I wasn't a victim. I just was a person who was a product of their environment. So I adapted to what was going on, and I did things that I seen and thought was, what I was supposed to do, basically.
So what did you get locked up for 17 years for?
Attempted murder and armed career criminal.
Armed career criminal, okay. Because there's a bunch of charges.
Gun charges?
Yeah, but I had no gun charges before that. So what they did to me, they actually tried to, like, legally, it was like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tried to, like, screw me because of what my charge was, and then they knew who I was. So originally, my gripe with the legal system or with law was because I started a gang. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So they couldn't really do anything about that. And I didn't start it out to be a gang, so I'm not a gang leader, and that's not even a thing anymore yet. That was the whole reason for all of the back story or whatever, like the having a hard on for me, because I wasn't an armed career criminal. I was a teenager. I didn't even have a job.
I was gonna say, so like like to put all this in context too, you guys are all just young kids fighting in your neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like fucking like grown ass men running around fucking pulling guns on each other like
So,
that kind of. This is like
and-
this is young teenagers.
And also,
You guys are early teens, right?
I got locked up
absolutely.
when I was 19.
But before that, remember, you did DYS time.
Yeah, I was
So he
on-
doesn't
I-
even talk about this.
Yeah.
And for me, not nearly enough, because
Yeah.
we also need to make sure that kids younger than ourselves or even younger than what we went into prison, right? Because it starts like 11,
That's
12
what
years
it
old.
is.
Don't go through the same shit.
That's what
This is interesting shit right here.
That's why I know a lot of dudes from Dorchester, but like I'm from East Boston. It's a little.
You're from Maverick,
Yeah, I'm from
Projects?
Maverick. I'm
Okay.
from Bricks. I'm from Projects. Like it's a little
That's Mr.
different.
East Boston. That's
I'm Mr. East
That's
Boston.
Mr. East Boston.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
Mr. East Boston. Nah, for real. So like a lot of dudes that I know and grew up with, I really met them in DYS. Like when they first opened Harvard Street, I was one of the first kids in there, bro. 2001, that building opened. 425 Harvard Street in Dorchester. I was one of the kids. There was only like 6 or 7 of us. There was dudes from Lynn, from around Bros Way. You know what I mean? Gangbanging. Everybody was in their gang. So, where you from?
But you weren't in a gang.
At the time, no,
Yeah.
I was just from my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
And that's
a
the
lot
thing.
of the
When you're
time,
from your neighborhood, they made it again.
Yeah.
So if it's 3 white
Right.
kids, that speaks to the systemic racism. Right.
right?
If it's 3 white kids, it might be a lacrosse team. If it's 3 black kids, that's definitely a game.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
You know, and I don't know about now's timing because things are trying to change, or at the very least, there's a lot of awareness to that. You know what I'm saying? Yet then, and that timing, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because y'all grew up in the same era pretty much, right? Just a little bit ahead. That was a big thing, like labeling gangs and cops pretty much getting their name off of attacking the gangs and all of this stuff. That was a big thing. At least it wasn't my neighborhood. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. In that time, it was, like you said, like the rhetoric now, there's a lot of different, mix-ups and all that other shit. At that time, that it was everybody knew what was going on. It was,
Even
it
in
was
the
a bad thing.
even when we
How
got
long you guys
locked
been
up,
out for?
2 years for me.
I was just in court today. I got some whole shit going on, but I've been out. I went back to jail. I got out in September 1st, 2021. I went back to jail the same day a year later for like 6 months. And that shit was South Bay is a fucking zoo, a circus.
Yeah, because I heard on one podcast
To go to fucking, to actually be, like, I felt like a clown, bro. It's not cool. It's not, you don't get no stripes. Going back and that shit's whack. You know what I'm saying? And I went back in there because I acted off my impulse.
Yeah,
like I said,
and
survival.
let me just correct. So nobody gets it messed up. He went in there for defending himself. Yeah, because of his record. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't equate. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
right.
You could defend yourself. Yeah, cool. You was violent.
Right.
In
but
a
once
situation,
that,
and
I'm
it's your
an armed
record?
career criminal
Yeah.
too. You feel me? Like, and I'm on career criminal level 3. I just wrapped it up. You feel me? So when I caught my new joint, which is dismissed now under the beating, it happened literally in front of my fucking house. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, something.
Yeah, hold on.
So it was just the neighborhood catching up with you.
Right. You see what I'm saying? But they say it's like by the numbers statistically, like you're more likely to get in a car accident right near your house, or on your way to work, or get into some shit right by where you live. That's just how it is. Because I got out and came right back to the same fucking neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? After all that time, then I went back to jail, and I was out for a while. I've been out probably I stayed out for since then. So last month I've been 2 years, so 3 years. You could say, minus 6 months. And going back that time after I realized it's this is really now it's everybody's medicine up to jail. They're giving them, there's no more sneaking drugs.
They want to calm everybody down. Right?
Yeah, they got everybody's
Subdue.
It's like mass high. National shit right now is like mass high.
It's to subdue people.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
That's
So
the
it
best
makes
way to
you
put
way
it.
easier to control
You know what I mean?
if you're meted up.
No one knows the law.
And
No one's going, it's crazy.
What do you mean no one knows the law?
Well,
if
knows
you're
what's going
subdued, right, mentally, in order to subdue you physically by utilizing meds, right, it's gonna subdue you mentally.
Right.
So now, if your mind is already trapped with prescription medication, you're not searching to get out of prison by learning the law. You got to do a whole bunch of reading for that. 9 times out of 10, you're waiting for the med line.
Yeah.
When you're on those types of medication that was on them. And I could tell you off of lived experience alone that is not, nobody is thinking about meds and the law. You, like 9 times out of 10, you probably in your cell sleeping or at the nurse's station talking to a therapist.
Wait, so did you like being on meds?
No,
You're missing what they're talking about. What they're talking about is like the whole conspiracy of like.
I know, and the Nazis supposedly did with the water.
No. So it's the same thing about like schools, giving kids like all these drugs in schools and shit. You don't want people thinking. You don't want people fucking having ideas. You don't want people getting together, fucking like, this is fucked up. But you don't want
it's just a way to break people.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
So you just give everybody drugs and have. What's fucked up is like, so it's gonna sound funny because like, so I did like a month in jail, like fucking for some dumb shit, for some money dumb shit, and out of like the 60 people I was in the gym with. Like, I'd say 40 of them were detoxing.
Right.
Like, 10 of them went for some dumb money shit, and the other, like, 7 were for, like, actual crime. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, like, out of 60. And I watched those people for 30 days just straight fucking puke and shit all over the fucking floor themselves, fucking everything, and then just get pumped full of fucking meds.
And here goes the...
And that was 15 years ago.
And it hasn't changed.
That's what happened. It's got worse.
Now they're giving away supplies.
It got worse.
Yeah, and you want to know why?
People just
they got things called Big Pharma, right?
Well,
they're giving away.
Not even that too. So like,
and they're getting paid extra money per inmate.
Yeah.
Takes medication.
Right.
But on top of that, even to fill the jail up, like the crimes, like ridiculous shit to put. But once you're in, like I was on probation. I was on the run for 11 years too. Like I was on the run for 11 years. A year and a half spent over my head. I got my life so right when I turned myself in. The judge said, "Just go home, bro. You did everything that you should have done. We can't help you anymore. Just go home. Year and a half suspended.
Wow.
Like." You know, I'm supposed to do that whole fucking
joint.
Yeah. I was 11 and a half years I was gone for.
Yeah, that's way past the statute of limitation.
Nah, well, it wasn't. I broke probation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I ran for probation. I ran the court date. Yeah, so as soon as if they caught me, I was doing a year and a half.
No matter what.
Straight done. Yeah, like, nothing out. And so I had, eventually I got to the point where I did so well that I couldn't hide anymore. Like, I had to stop paying taxes. I had to, like, I had to start traveling, get a license. Like, I paying bills. I had too much money and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I turned myself in and they let me walk. But I only bring all that up because, like, I was in the probation, thousands and thousands of dollars, man hours, buses, trains, walking in the rain, fucking classes, fucking piss tests. They want you, I'm bringing this up, Ian, because they want you to fuck up to get to where you guys are, then get to where you guys are, fuck you up where you guys are, and then keep you there because it's a tax write-off, it's a fucking break. Not only that, you might be doing some labor. You might be building some keyboards, some cell phones, some fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, it's actual, the 13th Amendment, which, free slave, you guys obviously know this, is that slavery is illegal in the United States unless you have been convicted of a crime.
Absolutely.
It says unless.
Same thing in New Orleans.
You didn't know that?
They're trying to change it.
It says unless in there.
Yeah.
Unless in there. Unless. So now what you do is you get people on stupid bullshit petty crimes. They miss their bus. They can't get to their probation. They violate probation. They blah, 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 blah. Now they're doing a 3-month bid. They get in a fight during their 3-month bid. Blah, blah, blah. And now they're doing a year.
Private prisons,
Yeah. So like, and you're seeing 3 people that are actually like coming out of it. And it's just like, it's hard to fucking do.
Yeah, it is.
It's really fucking hard because they stack up every fucking thing for you. That's why that's how long you're out for. Because like you have to get past a certain thing before like, okay, like I'm actually.
There's actually the first 6 to 8 months, you're pretty much redlined on everything. So you can't even get a job. Yep. And that's why they made up the word recidivism. It's a made up word. Recidivism, it only means go back to jail.
They're trying to reduce it. They say they're trying to reduce it, but they're not.
No, the whole purpose of bringing up that word and then making up the word is for job security. Right. So there's no reason to have people not come back to prison because if the prison empties, there's a whole bunch of people without a job. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're continuously doing things to keep people there and to bring you there. And that's beyond the money, right? Because you even brought up the tax write-off. Yeah. And then there's other things like sponsorships and endorsements because other people back jails with their money to secure it. And then they still get state money and federal money. right? So it's all
Super
business,
lucrative, yeah.
right? Which is why it's slavery, because even slavery started as a business. Now we've got all of these people after stealing this land. We're like, well, what do we do? Well, most of the agriculture can really grow cotton really good. Okay. I'm not picking no damn cotton. That shit's hard. You ever seen how do you pick cotton? You could fuck your whole hand up doing that shit. We need some people with strong hands. We was just in Africa a little while ago. They had some strong ass hands over there. Right?
Yeah.
And then here we go. That's slavery right there. Now Gucci's a big thing. So
What do you think is an ideal system instead of what we have now?
there is no ideal system.
The people that work in prisons don't even want to work there, bro.
Absolutely not. They come in madder than
I
the
know
people
it's
who
CO,
are doing
yo.
time.
Remember
And there's
Morse, bro?
Yeah, he killed us.
Yeah, bro.
There's no.
The CO's killing himself, you right?
Okay, so I looked at
Make
the
it
30
100.
or the almost 30 years in that couch right, more than 30 years in that fucking couch right there.
Right. And this bro,
How many? I believe in microphones. I can't really fucking like talk with them. But I mean, like, have you guys seen like a lot of people must have died over that fucking time and shit? Like
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
You know, I mean, most people haven't fucking seen dead bodies or fucking murders and shit like that. That fucks your brain up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the way you just everyone on the couch is like, yeah, like, and look at him.
I almost look at it like I would somebody coming back from like a war, but almost worse because you're locked up.
Right.
Well, and of course, I understand the recidivism idea and like that it's set up for you to fail, especially once you got a record. But you were locked up like a bunch of times, where you kept getting extended.
Yeah, I got out. I've already been back a couple of times.
So how come you haven't done like you went on the run to avoid jail?
Yep.
How come you didn't do everything within your power to keep you from being back?
Well, that's why I made sure that I clarified that he was defending himself. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna run away from defending yourself.
Basically,
Both
like,
these
That's
come into
impossible.
this-
Right.
That's
You know what I'm
impossible.
saying?
That was in 2021 though. But all the years.
2022.
Okay.
I got out from my 12 piece in 2021. I was locked up from 2009 to 2021. That's why I met Heat in 09.
Why not just move?
Yeah, 2000.
That's what I needed a geographic.
Yeah, you gotta move,
Yeah.
Right. So
A lot of times you can't.
that was
Probation.
literally
You
my
have to
plan. I
move.
was
Yes,
on
that's
probation.
part of the
Get,
recidivism.
Right.
get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, go somewhere else.
So I tried
Over.
to transfer before I got out. I was in Norfolk my last 8 months. I was trying to transfer out of state. They was giving me a little hard time about that. But I got back to talking to my family that lives in Boston.
Oh, because you're on parole or something? So you can't.
Yeah,
you can't
you
do.
know that.
Yeah.
And they make sure you're on something. They make sure, like, you know what I'm saying? They make sure you got one of those. Everybody got one of those. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the
Right.
ankle bracelet.
That's what they're
okay.
doing. They
Jewelry.
strapping jewelry. You know what I'm
Because there's
saying?
some company that fucking makes that and gets paid for that. And
They
then you
wanna
gotta-
know what
then you
you're
gotta
doing.
The service, and then
They wanna
they
know what
fucking
you're
repair them, and
Yeah.
having a tech on the phone. It's a whole fucking thing.
So that makes that out of the question. You can't just
Some-
move.
Those shits are
Sometimes.
fucking expensive too. You gotta like pay for that. They gotta pay for that. Like when you get one of those, they don't give that to you. You gotta pay for that fucking
What,
thing.
you like rent it or something?
No, you gotta pay for that. How much
Anything
that
happens
cost?
to
Like
that,
a couple
damn,
grand,
it's
right?
not- you guys,
Wait,
uh,
how much?
You break
A
it.
couple grand?
Break it. If you break it. Yeah, absolutely.
And
And it's, no.
What if you don't have a couple grand?
It's not even-
You don't have to wear it?
Guess what? You go back to
You
fucking
go down.
jail.
Wait, a couple grand? A couple grand? What? That's an expensive ass.
What's even crazier is like if
Like,
you
I
get the
have
thing you
one.
gotta talk in your house,
Yeah.
that shit's like $5 fucking.
Just
dollars.
Wait,
not-
what is it? I don't even know about this.
So a lot of people when they get out of jail, they got two
I had
problems.
it. It was different though. My shit wasn't on for that long, so maybe it was just like
I was a couple days.
No, it was like 3 months when I came.
This is why you get headphones.
when I finished my bid, I came home off the RTS because
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Release
yeah, yeah.
release to supervision.
So, but what we're saying though, is like
Yeah,
this
we're
guy
talking
knows
about-
nothing about jail. Like he knows. That's why like I'm kind of in the middle of it.
Well, I did.
That was an in the yard.
He knows. He
Yeah,
knows
that was-
nothing
yeah,
about
I
the shit.
drove-
But
I watched Oz.
so when you
Tell me
get
pay too much.
that, not only do you gotta pay for it, you gotta pay for the service too.
What's that?
You gotta pay for the service too.
Pay for the shit that.
And then-
that's-
and
that's-
then-
What a racket.
And
That's
then-
crazy.
You probably got piss test.
But you said thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for an ankle bracelet.
Yeah, and if you fucking got
At least 1,000.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
That's a wild shit.
And then you gotta
you
pay
break,
parole
you
fees.
break, you buy.
Then you gotta pay parole
Break you
fees,
buy.
parole fees,
Buy.
probation
Jesus,
fees.
that's
He's
a-
probably in class fees, fucking all that shit. It maybe piss test fees.
Mhm.
Not only that, you gotta pay for like the bus, the train to get there because he doesn't have a fucking license. He's been in jail. For
You
some
can
time.
get paid while you're in
Right.
jail if you get work jobs, right? But it's nothing. You're not gonna just enough to pay for your ankle monitor.
Page, dude, that's what it was.
That's like
It's just enough to get your ankle
you
monitor.
slaves that they join. They have like they have to sleep in the house.
Exactly.
Wait, how much is the
Exactly.
most you can make in prison? Like an hour.
Like a dime.
It's not. It's all that is enough to get canteen. The most you can make is if you're in industry.
And they take half of it and make you
even that's fucked up.
So like an hour,
Yeah,
what would
because
you make?
industries is actually the slave.
Yeah.
The whole slave plantation. They're making
$1 a day.
$1 a day.
$2 a day.
And I'm like, it's about 7 to 13 between.
That's what it is.
Yes.
But does it totally depend on what job?
But that's hard to get in.
Yes.
I'll do it for the good time.
And how much money is ramen? Like $1, $2? I get $13.
It was 50 cents.
What's crazy too is
$1.03.
I don't know how it is like where you guys were, but when I was in there, like you didn't get canteen your first 30 fucking days.
Nope.
So like not even that. Like you're in there like broke as fuck, nothing. Like so now you're like they're already like putting you on a fucking like if you don't know somebody because you gotta borrow shit. Like you're already fucking like in the you're already fucked up. Like they that's all on purpose, man. Like,
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like they fuck with you. Like. Just to put you in the hole, so now like you have to borrow from him or borrow from him. So now if you don't fucking know him, now you fucking owe him some shit.
So if you don't know anybody, then you're gonna owe somebody immediately.
I mean, unless
you
you
don't
want to fuck out. Well, tough it out.
Yes and no. If you don't know somebody, you are gonna owe somebody. Yes, you don't have to take from. That's a thing. That's a rule in prison too. A lot of times
you can just not eat.
Don't take. Yeah, just don't take it.
You can just not eat.
If you feel uncomfortable taking from somebody, just don't take it.
But like what they do is they give you like a meatball and a sausage and a piece of bread for fucking like dinner, and then you're fuck at like 3:00 in the afternoon, and then all the rest of the fucking night.
And so you're gonna meet somebody, right? So this is the still, even though it's a separate, it's like a separate space, right? And being in prison is kind of like living in your own world. These are still human beings. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna meet other human beings. You might meet somebody who have the same exact situation as you, and you're like, damn, that's crazy. You in here too? Mm-hmm. And y'all end up being best friends for all you know. Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially depends on how long you did. Right? All circumstances call for different shit. So you're gonna meet somebody, and then he might offer you the soup, and you be like, if this dude, if he strikes you as relatable and like yourself, you're not gonna do that.
But just like in the outside world, if you're more charismatic person in general, you do better in prison just like you do better outside.
Yeah, you use that in the right way. There's a lot of charismatic people that go overboard with their charisma and they start putting something.
It's everything in moderation. It goes back to that. Because you could charisma yourself right into an ass. Right into an ass. You could charisma yourself right into being butt fucked. You know? I'm just keep it real. You know?
And how real is like how like at risk are you of getting fucked in the ass or getting stabbed?
Well, most nowadays, to be honest, a lot of dudes is just giving up
consensual.
It's some weirdo shit.
It's some weirdo shit.
There's enough weirdos to go around.
But they're normally like kind of separated, like just by themselves. Yeah. So it's like
what, gay people?
No.
It's like what it is the effemination of everything.
Yes. Listen, bro. Literally,
which is also by design.
They're paying for people to get fucking sex changes and all that weird shit.
It's encouraged.
It's like some crazy shit.
Of course they want to. Of course they want to.
It's wild. For people our age, it's wild.
This is the thing. Part of that is, and that's not even necessarily racist, if I'm being honest. That's just to emasculate people in a way that it subdues them as well. So it makes you less aggressive. If you're thinking more feminine, you're not going to be as aggressive, and so it makes their job easier, right? Because they have to have a whole separate pay, right, and team to come in and extract violence. If you act aggressive,
so they're letting people get sexually assaulted.
No, they're not.
That's not what he's saying.
No. They're encouraging.
They're encouraging sex changes.
They're encouraging femininity for men.
Right? When you're
but you could take that out of prison. That's all right now. That's everything.
That's Little Nas X.
If you look into like hip hop in the '90s, when like Cosby Show,
different game.
When Cosby Show was out, like when Different World was out, there was black people on TV in college and shit like that. Hip hop was talking about Tribe Called Quest. There's a lot more fucking like uplifting shit.
I know. I was just thinking. Yeah, 100%.
And what I'm saying is, like, I know black college enrollment was at like an all-time fucking high when that was going on. and then immediately afterwards came the switch into like the gangsterism.
Absolutely.
And now from that gangsterism shit's come from like, it's almost like Gangstalicious, like that fruity gangster
That's
shit.
exactly. So look at, so now here's a.
That's what it turned into.
That's a fact. So now,
Well,
and not only that, one of the reasons why
was ahead of his fucking time.
One of the reasons why it's Gangstalicious now, and I'm gonna
that.
we're coining that phrase.
Well, no, that's not me. That's not me.
That's the Boondog.
That's the Boondog.
Whoever it is.
That's
Shout out to him.
Aaron Magruder has a fucking character on the Boondog called Gangstalicious.
Well, check it. One of the things that you just said, well, not even one of the things, to speak on what you just said, right? You spoke of kind of like the timing and then how it evolved, right? And then it turned into gangster rap. So then college rates went down, right? And they put billions of dollars into that the same way they did
the
judicial system,
right?
And then check this. Everybody went to jail. And then there was a whole bunch of people in there that also came out because over 85% of the prison population is to be released to society, right? And so what happened was these people were getting out and still being successful. And you want to know how? Through the women, right? So how do you mess up a home if these guys are going to prison through the worst thing that they could ever go through, coming out and they're still being successful? They have to mess with the women, right? Because that's what was holding us down. Even when God, if you believe in the Bible, even when God made Adam, he made Eve from his rib to hold him down. Because without ribs and a spinal cord, you're not going to be held up at all.
I agree with like what you're saying. Like I guess the actual, no one knows what the actual conspiracy is, right? Like no one knows
my theory is that the conspiracy now is to affect the women. So it's gangster in order to become it, in order to move into the femininity. Right, and then now when it's more feminine, you can now have more women involved. And now that women are involved, they have a relatable source that they can look at and then mimic and things of that.
But they're fucking with the women in hip hop as well.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're fucking with women in hip hop as well.
That's the main example.
You know what happens a lot with that shit is a lot of people, they take the man out the home. So like a lot of dudes don't got their dads, so a woman's raising you. So every day you're seeing femininity. Well,
feminine young men.
You grew
up that's all you gotta mess up the woman, right? Because in order to mess up the home,
because they're protecting their kid, their son, their baby. They're just trying to you know what I'm saying? Because that's how the corruption of the world is. People, you gotta know what your kids are listening to, know what they watch. I got 5 kids. Like, it's real.
How the fuck you have 5 kids?
Hey,
I got 16-year-old, 15-year-old. I got older kids.
Now I got 6-year-old too.
Yeah, we got grown kids.
He was like, yeah.
All right, so we're going a little over an hour, but I do have a couple questions about this other side of this. Okay, so you guys, we were talking before, you got a lot of followers, you got kind of a buzz going. Like, when we posted, we got like 800 something fucking likes on the post with you guys. Like, and so I'm looking for your music and I can't find it now.
No, you
can find it, but it's not like you type some shit in. It's like your guys isn't like that. Like you guys don't have like there's not 30 videos. There's not mad shit like that. You can find it in there. You can find it in there, but it's not like other people's shit. You know what I'm saying? When I mean, like you know what I mean. It's
no.
But I have a question that gets to that because you said something interesting earlier because I was asking Hush like how the fuck that happens. And Hush was like, well, maybe they got those couple songs and they perform those songs and they perform them well when they do that. And then you said that, and then Hush also said one of the best live performances he's ever seen was you.
Right.
So you said that sometimes after you perform, you can't even walk.
That's a fact.
So tell us. So tell us,
these is 2 new chains, brother. These are sticker chains. My last performance, I ripped my chain off of my neck.
That's why you got to get the Dookie so it won't break.
That's why we get the Dookie.
Exactly.
Shout out to Big Dookie Chain.
I was gonna say, I thought it was crazy that he even met you because like I seen you at the King 8 show and I was like, I could rip that shit. I came up to you too and I was like, that performance was crazy.
Facts. I remember you.
Yeah.
And then you saw him with Scotty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But unrelated, and then I seen Van talking to him. I was like, how the fuck? I was like, that's small world. Like,
you guys know Hands Down.
We know you're connected.
I gave Hands Down as the homie. Like that, he was the first group Hands Down was
before King 8.
We brought him in. I'm the one who gave Hands Down. The name Hands Down came from that's house, right? Yeah. These family on it.
Yeah. That's why though.
Yeah. So I know how it is. Do you know him from out there? In there?
Yeah, they always.
No, I'm saying, do you know him from? Yeah, he's always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I wasn't. You know what I mean? We wasn't in the same vicinity or same realms. Yeah, I do know him from prison. The same like before we met in prison. I know like Boston and Massachusetts is not that big in a way that if you're part of that type of life, we gonna know you. Like if you part of the rich people life, right? They gonna know you. The bureaucrats. They gonna know you.
I would say that too. Like once you get to a certain level, the pool gets small.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like fuck. You see the same people everywhere.
Down, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And King H, we mentioned.
So okay, but the reason I bring that up is because when we see people that want to be successful in music, like money making shit like that, you guys must do a lot of. So give me the fucking plan, like how you get that following by not having a lot of music out, not having a lot of videos up, but still
keep moving.
Yeah,
keep moving. So we got a lot of core fans in Rhode Island. A lot of fans in Massachusetts, whether it be Holyoke, Lynn, Springfield, and now just gained mad followers in Connecticut, like a lot of like real.
And how are you guys getting these like? You know,
by going out and kissing the babies. We go outside. We outside.
We're not internet. I'm not an internet person.
Yeah,
people can you guys keep saying that.
We're not internet people.
So my question I guess is you guys have better internet numbers. Than internet people.
Come on,
but you guys aren't on the internet.
Right.
No,
we aren't.
We are on the internet.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's another to speak to that too. Like that's another reason why we have more followers than people. I'm not leaving my DMs on scene I'm answering them back.
Right.
Like I'm engaged with them.
So is it fair to say you guys do a lot of shows?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys go to Connecticut, do a show. You guys must pick up 20, 30 followers there.
Right.
The next one's 25 followers there. 20, 30 followers there.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
You know,
and then people. I'm also a fitness trainer. He also works. We all have jobs, and I run into people every day. Like I run into. I was training the co-owner of the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? I did panels with people that are part of the training the Celtics. You know what I mean? So I meet people.
How do you get a job like that?
Well, I work for ICW, which is Inner City Weightlifting Gym, and the agency. Absolutely, shout out to ICW, and they are a non-profit organization that speak for the agency of people who are been most affected by mass incarceration. So that's how I got my job.
Okay. Is that something you're passionate about? Like talking
very so because I and not to cut you off. I'm very passionate about it, as you can see, because mental health and fitness go together.
Absolutely.
Right? So me getting into working out, there was a time where I remember I couldn't even do a pull-up. And then the reason I kept going with working out is because I'm like, when I started working out, I wasn't thinking about nothing else. I'm facing my the rest of my life in prison, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just take it out on this bar because there ain't nothing else I could take it out on unless I get into a fight, and then I gotta lose all my shit and I can't even call my mom. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So no, I gotta do something else. Yeah. I gotta channel this aggression and do something that's gonna actually benefit me. And that's how I learned, right? That's the process. Yeah. So that's what I did. I'm very passionate about working out because once I learned that, I was able to put myself in a space that I could pretty much be my own therapist. You know what I'm saying? And so when I came out and I could get back into working out, because sometimes I slack because I go into deep depression modes where I don't even want to talk or do nothing.
What about a 501(c)(3)?
501(c)(3) is for a non-profit organization.
Yeah, I know it is. I have one. Yeah, but what about?
Am I gonna do one? Yeah. By the end of this year, I want to have one for myself.
And what's the mission statement going to be?
It's going to be to help children and to keep people from basically committing the same type of mistakes as myself. So it's going to be based on helping younger people. So we're going to help people. The mission statement, I haven't fully summed it up into like one sentence. Yet we're going to help kids write music. We're going to help kids record music because that's what we do. We're going to help kids learn to perform, right? How to hold the mic. Right, because there's a lot of people, there's grown-ass men who are still holding the mic with their hand over the top and wonder why nobody can hear what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to teach people about performing, how to record, how to write. I'm a publisher, you know, how to write a book. Maybe you want to write a book. We're also going to teach them that you don't necessarily need to be in front of the camera. Maybe you can be behind it. Maybe you can be the person who's starting the business for your friend. You know what I mean? Like there has to be somebody at the door collecting the money at these shows.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You could start a whole security firm. you could be the promoter. Right?
Yeah.
That's why unity is important.
I say it all the time, like Tom Brady needed someone to snap the ball, needed someone to block the blind side, needed someone to catch the ball, needed someone to water boy, someone to wash the uniform, someone to drive the car, someone to...
They used to win championship. Brady used to like buy presents for his whole entire O-line. He used to love his O-line.
Yeah, that's good too, but you need to make sure the chefs are taking care
No,
of
of
the
course,
bowmen are
everybody.
taking care of. Like,
I heard Tom Brady's
Yeah.
a decent dude, but rest in peace, Aaron Hernandez. They said, yeah, word.
Fucking, it was just like, I was just making the metaphor. No, it's just interesting because like people just see being successful as one way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see it's like you guys have a completely different fucking game plan to get to where you want to go than anyone I've talked to.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone they talk to usually has the same kind of game plan.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are like, nah, we're not even worried about that shit. We're just going to make sure we just touch people in person.
Absolutely.
You know
Touching people in person does the most effect on societies and groups of people.
And word of mouth to this day, word of mouth is still the most
That
effective.
one in the internet.
form of
So speed of sound.
So
and
I
advertisement.
would assume you guys have a lot of shows coming up. Where can we find you guys like coming up next?
Okay, so we're gonna be on Finney's boat.
Right here. This one right there.
On itself. So yeah, we're gonna be on Finney's boat. We're also doing a show, a secret show that I really don't need. I'm not even supposed to know about, so I can't tell you about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think you just fucked that up.
No, I'm not gonna know because we're gonna do so many shows that you're not gonna know which one I'm talking about. Chris Lee and Ray Sweets are doing Hustle Killers. They're
77.
Shout out Ray Sweet.
Shout out Ray Sweet.
Yep, and we're gonna be performing there
Did
as
you
well.
pull out a fucking like a schedule?
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
was
got
just
sometimes you gotta
Because you have so many.
It's good to be structured. The prison doesn't teach you.
No, I'm like you have so many shows. You're like I don't need like I gotta like I saw you scroll it.
The best thing about the group of people we have
And we're
to,
performing in Texas.
I was about to get me. We're about to perform in Texas, July 11th. Yep, we're about to do that. The one
This will be my second
showcase.
This will be my second time performing in Texas too. I did South by Southwest.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
We all got our own motion before we met each other. This is another thing.
Yeah,
single
I wanted
too.
to actually. You
today,
did something with. You were one of the last songs Sean Price.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah. Let's get that.
All right, yeah.
So yeah, you said that you're the last person that recorded with Sean Price before he passed away.
I mean, from what I know, of course. You know what I'm saying? From what I know. From things that I know that's out, things like that. They even used the song we did together in the mix-up. I forget exactly what's his name. His DJ at the time, the one that produced the songs in the Key of Price, which is his last actual CD, and they even did like a memorial thing with my song in there. There's a lot of things with the song which I don't care nothing about, so because there's a lot of negativities. There's a lot of negativities. I guess the what I want to talk about is the other stuff. It's the reason why it's not out. Things like that. But at a time when I was moving with the group Head Spinners, I was dealing with. We got an opportunity with Cool G Rap. Cool G Rap's my man. This is somebody, anybody here in study old school hip hop. This is the godfather of gangster rap on the East Coast. This is my man. This is somebody I dealt with for a long time. For now, 12 years. So we got with him. We performed in front of him. He loved us. He was just like, what's going on? He don't fuck with too many people. Like you look down his whole thing, it's like, you know what I'm saying. So long story short, he had sent his people to us. Boom, made the connection. Sent us out to Mount Pocono in Pennsylvania. We went out there, shot a music video. It's out now. Head Spinners featuring Cool G Rap. It's you know what I'm saying. This is like 10 years ago. So I made that connection with him. Now I was building with him. There's obviously all these open doors. You know, we're talking about Cool G Rap. So he pretty much at the time I was making good bread too, and he pretty much was like, listen, you know, just know like I can make calls for you. We ended up talking about a couple different people, and I've always grew up on Duck Down. Sean Price is my man's. I've always
Monkey Bars.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just that type of wordplay is something I used to be fascinated about. It's what him, Vinny Paz is like, Circle B, AOTB, all those people with the wordplay. That's something I used to love. And so I got linked up with him, and we went. Me and my man Richter, Sir Richter, shout out Sir Richter, one of the Head Spinner members, man, one of the illest spitters I know. He did the song we did a song called Concrete Certified. Yeah, I still got it in the vault somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, we had a confusion about who was gonna bring the cameraman. We didn't bring no cameraman. We were supposed to shoot video and do the whole nine. So we came. So we literally, Sean Price, listen, this dude is exactly who.
Everyone shows up with no camera. You're like,
yeah, this man is exactly who he says he is. When it comes to his personality, there's no faking about him.
I don't know him on a personal level like that, but we did a lot of shows with him.
Yeah, he's so boisterous. Yeah, he's one of the coolest people to record with. We were recording his like crib. It was dope, but it was dope. He's still 40 something years old at the time he was, and he spit his verse and he looked at me, my man, and he said, "Did you hear that? Like he loves himself. It was something he taught me a lot about confidence. That day, even is music always, but that day, like this dude at any age, did not matter, still thinks nobody can smell his shit when it comes to writing verses. and you know what? That's something that I was like, you know what? I picked up on for a long time. You know what I mean? But I went up to a show with him and Ella G. Me and my man Salam C from the high school just went there. Then we were supposed to go do a video. We get out to go do the video. He's not answering. He's like an old school dude. Didn't have a cell phone at the time. Called Crib.
The brokest rapper you know.
Hey, but the richest up here though sometimes, you know.
I'm just quoting the man.
Of course. He'll tell you.
Yeah,
he'll tell you. Yeah.
I got him, bro. Yeah.
Nah, of course, yeah. So
you see that though, right?
Yeah, no, I've been looking at that. I was pointing earlier. I wasn't pointing at him.
He's over my shoulder.
Yeah. But it's Bernadette, his wife, awesome human being. Shout out Bernadette. And you know what I'm saying? I called at this time and there was no answer. I called Domingo from East New York. I was messing with Domingo, legendary producer that was messing with them.
Moman? Is he Moman? Oh, okay, go on.
But East New York Domingo, but I called him, he was the connection. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. I shot another video for two of my other man's videos. On the way back from this trip, I never got hold of him. I ended up getting booked on the way back for a hammer charge on the Mass Pike. Got booked for a hammer charge on the way back. Of course, me being a fucking idiot who's never left in my state, I think I gotta go everywhere with a gun like a retard. So I fucking go to jail for that. I sit for a little while. As I'm sitting, I make the calls. At the time, I'm kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I went out there for what I thought was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I thought I got like blew off, and it wasn't even the case at all. I had called and shout out cousin Naughty from North Philly. This is my dog. He's Cool G Rap's road manager. He's the one that told me he had passed when I was locked up or through a phone call, jail phone call. And I was like, I was like. What? Rest in peace to God, man. I was like, huh? Say that one more time for me? Like, yeah. I'm like, fuck. I had to sit for like another month and a half. Came home. They had like the memorial song, everything for him and shit. Like, they did everything. And yeah, that's the jokes of that.
Will the song ever come out?
Whoa, that's why we do that, man.
Will the song ever come out? I would like to believe, right? So I like to move in every aspect of life. Now that I'm grown and I know what it is to be a real man, it's like I know to take things that no matter whether I want something, right? It's about if I do this, if I walk this way and down this path, who am I gonna bother along the way, and who am I gonna disrespect, and who am I gonna, things like that. So without, I guess, bringing up the details to it, it is something I will always have in my vault. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I feel famous in spirit, but I ain't famous yet. So anybody want to hear it, they can call.
Has these guys heard it yet?
No, they haven't. They don't even know about it. Look, they do know about it, but as of recent time. This is something from a time that I tried
I'll give you my email. You can send it to me.
Absolutely.
I want to listen to Sean Price.
It's an unreleased Sean Price, but again, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to push it because of the legal aspect behind everything because a tragedy happened.
It's not even because like the pushing it part. I mean, I didn't even think about that. I wasn't even thinking about like promoting it.
Is it just coming out?
Is it gonna like ever be available?
I definitely think that the world needs to hear another Sean Price verse.
Wait, why wouldn't you just give it to Bernadette Price and have her put it out?
Absolutely. Well, because the thing is that I don't know. So when it comes down to it, I would give them anything. They even used it in like the memorial thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to speak about it, there was like a difficulty between people that had nothing to do with me, but through the people that I dealt with. Yeah. And then there was, so there was a tension there, and I just said, cool. Peace and love to everybody.
The thing about Sean Price too is like we were talking about how he flipped from like the rock shit to like Sean Price and kind of changed his whole like vibe. And
one of the most successful reinventions of all time.
Absolutely. There's not MF Doom too, but yeah.
And
there's not a lot of that Sean Price.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's just not a lot of it. Like he like this. Even like those 3 or 4 albums, like a lot of that shit's recycled.
Yeah,
right.
It's like all like
different way.
Like you know what I mean. So if you're into Sean Price, you know that there's only like really 10 to 12, maybe 15 Sean Price verses across that whole like Imperious Rags. All that shit is like kind of like unfortunately the same fucking thing, and you're like you want more. You know
I definitely will say this to end it on the last thought and the question. I definitely will never. I feel like I couldn't let myself go away in life without letting that the verse out and things like that. Like I plan on speaking to the right people and making things happen, no matter what whatever the result is, as long as the world gets to hear Sean.
Sean Price.
No matter what the example is, and again, much respect for the family and Bernadette and them. And everybody.
Shit, we might be sitting here with someone that has a we are sitting here with someone that has a fucking unreleased Sean Price verse from the P days.
He's looking at you.
Fuck, man.
You see the salute. That's my man. know what I'm
Once
saying?
again,
R.I.P.
Mak-Tube, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I've been looking
You know,
at that since I sat here.
You know what he would say? His verse is too hot to have the world not hear it.
Boot camp.
Let's go.
What did it say?
Who can
Boot camp means nothing to Wu-Tang. It's
That's hard.
Merch from Cambridge. Fucking but yeah, man.
That's
So
dope,
Sean
man.
Price, that's dope as fuck, man. Yo, man, it's been a pleasure. Man, is there anything else you want to ask these guys before we get out of here? It's been about an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do have more questions,
it's
but we
been-
could do it another time.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's been super interesting. Do you guys want to talk to this camera right here? Go right in the line, tell people where they can find you. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the fuck you want, you know?
Absolutely, man. I'm Dae Heat, DAEHEAT. That's official Dae Heat on pretty much everything. So if you put in DAE space HEAT on Facebook, and again, official Dae Heat on YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, look me up, man, and look up the music. I'm hoping you do that, and if you don't,
Do you have like a new project coming out or anything soon or anything?
I'm dropping songs all the time. So I just dropped a song on SoundCloud today, and
What's the name of that song?
the name of that song is called "A Heart Assassin."
There you go. Okay.
So I actually had changed the name. So I originally called it like "Tried To" or some crazy shit, but then I'm like, you know what? You killed my heart, you heart assassin.
Yeah, that's a-
Songs about. So
How about you? Where can we find you?
Alta
Right in.
Supreme. Alta Supreme on all things. It's AUTHOR space SUPREEM. You gotta spell it that way, man. I know I make it difficult. But yeah, on everything. Instagram's Alta Supreme 617. YouTube's Alta Supreme. Snapchat's Alta Supreme. Facebook's Alta Supreme. Yeah, man, check me out. And then the link tree is on the way to get everything. Go to my link tree that's connected to my Instagram to get everything.
yeah, we doing something together too.
Same thing right now, man.
Easy, man. Y'all know who the fuck, nigga. Y'all know who I am, bro. It's Mort Beazy, man. Shout out to everybody who was up here too before. I've been watching. I've been paying attention. It's at Mort_Beazy, MORT_BEAZY on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. It's same thing, Mort Beazy. You type in Mort Beazy on YouTube, you're gonna see me. I just dropped a single today, Bros on it. It's called A Whole Lot of That.
Oh,
on
shit, okay.
platforms.
A Whole Lot
Wait, so where can they find that?
On any
Anything?
device.
Alright,
Yeah,
everything.
music, Spotify, YouTube, or whatever device you got. But yeah, we outside, man. And the secret show nobody not supposed to know about is July 26th. I'm gonna give y'all a date.
What the hell?
Secrets out, man.
What the hell just
Fucking, it's dope shit, man.
Like a
Dope shit.
spirit case.
Yeah, these guys, I have a feeling if you pretty much show up at any hip hop show in the next like month or so, you're gonna run into these guys. They're
That's for
fucking,
sure.
they're there.
That's for sure.
I can attest to that.
You'll know any of these names in 43 AD. In 43 AD.
Fucking, Van, what do you want to tell these people?
Like, subscribe.
Absolute.
Just so you know, that camera's already caught your faces.
Oh,
The beer can, right?
You know the thing on, yeah, you're too late for that. There are cameras in there. We are on microphone.
There
We
you
have
go.
it recorded.
Big Dookie Chain, man.
Fucking fuck her chilling. Mike forever. Senseless. You know the deal. Peace.
Out.